Hello everyone and welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, where we've got Brushel on the run. He keeps backtracking and changing his story. Let's see what we can get out of him. Yes, please continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of a story. Nah, I'm the one asking the questions here. Usually. Yeah, not here. I was rewatching an old episode and I realized why he's called Brushel. I can't remember if I realized that towards the end, but I just saw the name Brushel and I realized, oh, that's the pun. Scent of a story, okay. Usually it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Or actually, it took a bit of work. Reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. Oh, you dirt. Okay. Alright, here, I'm gonna turn up the volume just a little bit. Okay, there we go. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably had something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. So you threatened to go to the press with this story? That's how you got your interview? Blackmail? Well, yes. Oh, that sounds bad. I mean, no. No, it wasn't exactly black. Is something wrong, Mr. Brushel? Well, look. This is my story, my tidbit. Journalist info is livelihood. End quote. I see. Well, you have me chatting away in here. What's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth or Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste. Well, that might happen anyway. The court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel. Mr. Justice, let's pick up the pace. Certain case 7 years ago. Wait. 7 years ago? Come on. Put this together. I guess it would be hard, like, in the real world to, like, make that connection. Alright, scent of a story. We'll just, Oh, we got the bracelet. Hold on. The victim drew... Thank you, in the comments for pointing out. It's Drew My Sham. Drew My Sham. I never would have gotten that. If I had 100 guesses, actually 100 I probably would have gotten there. But I certainly wasn't going to come to that conclusion on my own. So thank you for that. Had an aversion to reporters. Of course he did. He didn't want to be found out. Boy, I guess. Not even my considerable charms did much for him. I am finding that incredibly difficult to believe that your charm didn't work on him. Until I finally got my thumbs up, that is. Maybe you can elaborate on that a bit for us. Leverage a story, so he knew something. Exactly what sort of story was this? He's not going to tell us, though. Oh, a little one, like I said. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing in between. End quote. So that's... I might have suggested I had a lead on this particular story, but I didn't threaten or cajole or nothing, honest. So suggestion was enough to get an interview? Mr. Mysham must have really wanted to keep it under wraps. Certain case from 7 years ago. Yeah, tell me about that. Certain case 7 years ago. Tell us, what case? Oh, he's sweating. Let me state one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case. Well, why not? It's about journalistic pride and staunchness and credibility and connections. The journalist reveals sources only over his dead body. End quote. So what'll it be? Gonna strangle me? Dead men don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney. He sounds pretty determined not to talk. Our chance of breaking his will aren't looking good. Probably had something to do with it. Yeah, I believe that. I'm trying to remember what was in the red envelope. On the one hand, we have your story. On the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related? Oh, I was just saying it's possible. Call it reporter's intuition, end quote. Hey, I say a lot of things. You going to pick them all apart? Be my guest. I mean, yeah, that's kind of our job. All of them? No, just the incredibly suspicious ones. I see anything else to add about Mr. Mysham? But Drew's talent was without compare. Just how amazing was Mr. Mysham's talent? Huh? Wee boy, I mean, hey, he's a star, man, a star. I still think, like, brushing his teeth I get. Why is he brushing his glasses? And his tongue? Like, tongue to glasses seems weird. Out of, I guess, of all things I could have picked out, that's the one I have a problem with. The flow of his brush is like a great undulating river across the canvas. Artist paints light up studio like sun, end quote. This guy's full of wacky gestures. That one just now is wacky. Oh, he looks kind of nervous to me, Apollo. Definitely. I'm sensing something different than before here. Maybe it's time to bring out you-know-what. That testimony left a bad taste in my mouth. It all makes sense. Nothing jumps out as ridiculous. I wonder what the story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that. Something powerful enough to drag Drew Mysham out of hiding. I wonder... Maybe something to do with Mr. Mysham's art? So did someone find out about this interview and didn't want him to talk? I could see that. Oh. Okay, so I feel like it was practically begging me to do the bracelet on the last... Wait, no! I went too far. Okay. So it was this one. Is that he's whacking his head with the toothbrush? Alright. Okay, let's see if we can... Watch his forehead. I didn't see anything. His hand? I mean, we know his hand's moving. It's not really a subtle thing. Here again. It's hard, like, I'm looking at the screen the way you guys see it. I'm having a hard time, like, watching both. Alright, so, sorry, I'm gonna kind of bury my face in the... his, like, arm. At some point I thought he moved... here again, maybe a little... Take a look at his pocket. No, I don't really... I want to look at his arm. Alright, maybe I'm off. Alright, let's take a look at his mouth. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I didn't, like, nothing super... Oh, his eyes. Jeez, I feel like I've skipped all the obvious ones. 'Cause I got so caught up in that toothbrush. It's so hard because you don't know, like, how obvious these are going to be either. Man, nothing's really moving. Just like look all over. Check out his throat. No. I had my doubts about that. I'm sorry, this is probably really frustrating to watch, but I don't really know how else you're supposed to do this. Instead of like just pick a spot and his right arm, left arm twitches. I have no idea. I know this is what it wanted. Oh, his ears maybe. Because the hard thing is, it's only during... I feel like I would have noticed his ears move when I was like focused on his face. What else could it be though? I didn't take a look at his elbow. I don't get it. I feel like it was begging me to look at this one. How are you like... I don't know. Alright, I might just have to start doing this systematically, and if so, then I'll probably... we'll probably BRB if I have to like look at each area for a whole thing and move on, but I don't want you guys to miss any of the fun of me slowly going mad. Alright, let's start down here. Just gonna go across like a typewriter. Oh, wait. Oh, I got it. Oh my, jeez. Ow. Yep, there it is. Gotcha. I was really worried we were going to be at that for a long time. Sweat much, Mr. Brushel? Yeah, well, he does look like the type of person who would probably sweat too. A man can't help his glands, you know. It's more than that. When Mr. Meisham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. Nah, you're hiding something about his talent. What? That's ridiculous. Evidence time. Let's show where Mr. Meisham's talent lay. It just so happens I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in the letter. What did we get? Not the autopsy. Oh, is it that? Letter box. Oh, would it be that? Coffee mug, no. So would I present this? Or the one... like it would be the original, because that proved that he had it. I think is this gonna hurt? I hope not. This painting was found in Mr. Mysham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first is that it wasn't painted by Mr. Mysham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. Oh, that one actually probably would have been better. That is all, Your Honor. That's it. We're fine. Everyone, please, everyone. Can we keep this private, please? This is my story, my scoop. Forgery, that's a serious crime. Drew Mysham is known as an artist these days, but there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back. Another art meaning? Forgery. Drew Mysham was talented, alright. Talented at making precise, detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about... Exactly, I'm talking about forging evidence. Wait, what? Oh, it all goes back to 4 years ago, or 7 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. 7. The rumor started circulating 7 years ago. 7 years ago? So are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for... Exactly. Forged evidence that's tidy profit, end quote. Order, order, order. Oh, it's all coming together in a sort of way. Well, it's like our victim was living a double life. This is my chance. So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have had plenty of enemies we know nothing about. That's crazy conjecture. This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation. But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here. But there's no proof tying this letter to our case. What? Our case was and remains simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course... He's nodding along. Wait, what, huh? Hey, the only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing reviews. Wait. I get it. Mr. Brushel, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well to your reporting acumen. Really, yeah. What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. Journalism so solid you could stand an elephant on it, end quote. In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in the studio from the recap, then the trial is over. Apollo, what's he talking about? Cross-examination showed Mr. Brushel didn't have reason or means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera. That's what. This next testimony is our last chance. Mr. Brushel, your testimony, please. Oh boy. Alright, we can do this. The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. And nothing left the studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter. A nice testimony, clear, succinct, and without room for doubt. Aw, shucks. You really think so? Priorities, man, priorities. I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your final cross-examination. Right. I still have one trump card left to play, and I won't let this trial end until I use it. Alright, let's press. But that doesn't prove Vera poisoned it. How many times have we heard that one, Air Forehead? The poison reached its victim via that coffee mug. And from where did that coffee come, Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you could fill us in. I'm on it. You need a horse beat? I'm your man. And you witnessed her pouring the coffee. Of course I didn't witness it. She came in with that tray. The coffee was already poured and steaming. Let us not forget the defendant has admitted to pouring the coffee herself. I heard her statement. I poured, I served, and I killed. Wait, what? That's not what was said. The last part was just a little joke. I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere with this coffee mug. I need to find another weak spot in this case. Where was that mug? I have my doubts. You're sure about that? Well, to be really, really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time. Oh, that's why he smells like mint. I thought it was because he was brushing his teeth every 6 seconds. One of those candies might have been poisoned. Yet at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint was filled the room, and no mint residue was found. It's a long shot anyway. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate or drank or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof, the possibility is there. I can feel it, just maybe not prove it, not yet. Possibility isn't gonna cut it, not now. Mr. Mysham ingested that poison via a route other than the coffee. I can't prove it. Alright. Let's come back to it. It can't be proven. I do believe our little forehead is growing up. Pity we liked the rash, youthful forehead the best. Another hole in this case that needs plugging before I can prove anything. But first things first, I better uncover a weak spot before I try to strike again. On with the cross-examination. I feel like this is the weak spot. Not one thing, you're sure? Yep, sure can be. Well, with one exception. Ooh, what exception? What? Journalist Spark Brushel does interview Lee's studio. End quote. Come on. It's a joke, get it? Not funny, I know, but still. Did something leave the studio that night? Why does it sound familiar? Or have I heard something like that before? Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn to our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. You have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night? Oh, what did leave? What left? I know the how, I don't know the what. I don't remember. So what left? Oh, this is killing me because I know it was something from it. I just need to get to this point. If I can just figure out how to get here. We're gold. All right. Let's come back to this. Can't think of a single thing. If anything did leave it, wouldn't Mr. Brushel... No, he wouldn't. That I would. Nothing left save myself, of course. Say that again, you'll be held in contempt of court. Let's get back to the cross-examination then. So do I not need to prove what left? Just that something could have left? Alright, hold on. We're going to come back to that. You say clearly as though it were obvious. But this claim that the defendant poisoned the victim is merely conjecture. Yes, well, you see, my business is all about making the most ridiculous things sound right. A bad habit, I know. Yes, well, actually, I guess this is more than a case of ridiculous journalist sounds wrong, end quote. The court is forced to agree with you. Please refrain from wild conjecture. Understood louder and clear. If only I could believe that. What do you think, Apollo? Everything you're saying seems so not flawed. Well, that's kind of what you want from a testimony, really. I need to keep my eye on what matters. How and why was Drew Mysham killed? If you report the coffee, that's not going to change. But if that coffee didn't kill him, I need to find what did and prove it. Okay, Alright. I'm gonna try something and hope it doesn't hurt. Yep, we know. You're such a funny guy. But I don't know what it was. I know how. I'm gonna go for it, because I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean? Something other than our witness? Of course. Don't tell me. The Vera Mysham. Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you. Oh, okay. Good. Because the poison wasn't there. But I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene. This is what I needed. Yes. There we go. Whew. This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. Letterbox. What did Mr. Brushel just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, it was true. Furthermore, you went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. Ah! Oh, I thought we were... Wasn't the poison missing? I don't know, I'm having a hard time remembering. But the very same letterbox was empty. In other words, that night the yellow envelope disappeared. What? No, that's not wrong. Ah, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Huh? Well, it proves anything could have gotten out there. He has a point, Mr. Justice. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Mysham. Is it really important that this envelope the witness says he saw disappeared? Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well, then the witness will add this to his testimony. You got it. I still think this fails to change anything, Air Forehead. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. Alright, we'll continue this cross-examination in the next episode. Ooh, that was tough. Sorry for the, 10 minutes of trying to figure out where his sweaty armpit was. We got it. We got through it. We survived. Life is good. I hope you guys are still enjoying this. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.